Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Bleach, which is one of the big three anime and manga out of One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. And I should say that I watched the anime for this. I usually read manga, but the anime is just right there. And so far it's been very well paced, and I really like the presentation and the colors, and the OST especially is very well done. So I think this is quite a good adaptation so far, and I'm going to be sticking with it for now. And in terms of the quality of its introductory arc, its first arc, the Agent of the Shinigami arc, I think it's the best out of the big three, like the best introductory arc and how it introduces its characters and stuff. And I want to explain why. So, starting off with, I think the characters are what really carry this arc. So, Ichigo obviously is a very interesting protagonist. Obviously, we have the whole thing with his mom that'll definitely be followed up in the future, I'm sure of it. And the whole thing with his family, and he's just a very interesting character. Like, this is clearly just the beginning of his character. It doesn't feel like we've already gone through his character arc when we're only like, what, a tenth of the way through the series. So I think he's done super well here, and he's an interesting character with some development, but it's clearly not the end of his arc, which I think makes a lot of sense, and it's how I like characters to be done in first arcs. Now, then we have Orihime, who is like um, as a character, I think for the most part I really like them. Like the like her whole thing with her brother and how he died, and then in one of the episodes they have to kill his brother. Well, not kill, like send them to the Soul Society because they're like a hollow now. And I think that was really done. However, there is one small aspect of this character that I very much do not like, and that is the comedy. It's just unfunny. Like anime comedy, 95% of the time is just not funny. And like the whole, they have one trait that they just beat into the ground over and over again. It's not funny. So that is one small negative on a character that I otherwise think is very good. And we have Ishida, who is like, I definitely see myself liking him more as the series goes on, but as for right now, no. He's an above average character for right now. I think his backstory was just gone over too fast. He does have like a rivalry thing going on with Ichigo. I don't know how far that'll go, but he's the only one that I wouldn't say I really like out of the main four. He's the only one I'd say I'm not a huge fan of, but I'm sure I will be at some point because this is only the first arc. And then we have Chad, who, his name is Chad. Come on, he's clearly a great character here, right? So Chad is, well, he doesn't have a whole ton of like backstory as of yet. We did get a few glimpses of it, but not the entire thing or anything, right? And I think that'll be very interesting once we get to it. But as for what we have right now, I think he's still a very interesting character. Just a very fun character, like, the whole dumb guy that's really strong. We've seen that before, but I think it's done super well here. And, like, in his introductory episode where he is, like, trying to fight, but he can't see it, so he's just punching in the air. I like that. Like, that's the one comedic aspect of the series that I think is done very well. So yeah, the main four characters I think are all super solid, except for Ishida. I'm sure I'll like him at some point, just not right now. But Ichigo, Orihime, and Chad, very good characters, and I think this did a very good job showing them off, even if they clearly have more to do in future arcs, like more backstory to reveal and stuff like that. So yeah, characters definitely a very solid part of this arc, and the main reason why I think it is the best introductory arc out of the big three, and honestly one of the best in just shonen anime in general. So yeah, and the world that this story takes place in, I think is probably the least interesting thing about this series so far. However, it does just take place in the normal world, normal human world, so that just immediately puts it as at a disadvantage to series that take place in fantasy worlds, right? Because those are just inherently more interesting. Although we are going into the Soul Society, and I feel like if the Soul Society is as cool as it's being built up to, I think that the human world being just kind of normal will be very important, because we start off in a crazy world, and then we go to the Soul Society and it's the exact same, then, where would the excitement be? Because we've already seen something just as extreme as the Soul Society, right? So I think this is important to have it start in kind of a dull area. But yeah, the setting itself is probably the least interesting aspect so far. And then the battles, because what would a battle series be without battles, right? And I think they're quite good. Like, they're definitely fun. I'd compare it to early One Piece fights, honestly. Like, they're not super complex. However, also like One Piece, at this point in the series, we know alongside the characters, we know next to nothing about the power system here. So I'm very sure that as the arcs get longer and more complex, that we'll have far more interesting fights. I mean, I've seen a few clips of fights in the future from series, just from like, it's such a big series, you just see clips around everywhere, right? And I think they look super good. So I'm excited to get into the future of the series and see how more complex the fights get. But as of for right now, they are very fun, and yeah, they're very fun fights. It's just not super complex right now, but I am sure they will get more complex in the future. And then getting into the end of the arc alongside Rukia as a character, the arc ends just kind of as a cliffhanger into the next arc. Really, like it ended, and I was like, oh, really? That's the end, right? Because it's not a self-contained story, really. Like you could really consider the end of this arc part of the Soul Society, in my opinion, just because it ends with Ichigo being defeated and then he has to train, and then it ends with them leaving for the Soul Society to save Rukia, who I didn't include with the main four characters because I'm not sure how much her like I'm sure she'll be important to the plot, but not like I don't know how much in terms of battles or like how much focus she'll get, so I didn't include her in the main four. But yeah, she's a decent character as of right now. She's okay, but like it's clear that we're gonna learn a lot more about her backstory in the Soul Society arc. Like it's clear we know next to nothing about this character as of right now, so I didn't want to include them with the rest because I don't think I can make a fair judgment on this character as of right now. But yeah, the actual way the arc ends is it's a big cliffhanger, and it's definitely very engaging because obviously you just want to see him get back at those people who beat him, right? And yeah, that's like something that's been done in Shonen a lot, right? Like you have them beat by the character, then they train, they come back, right? But it's just done very effectively here. Like it's not drawn out too long, and it fits with Ichigo's motivations. So yeah, I think that this is a very solid end to the arc, and definitely a very engaging hook for the next arc, and I'm super excited to see what happens in it, which I will be covering whenever I finish the next arc. Yeah, so if you liked the video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and that's it for now.